Hello there.
I didn't realize you were starting. I saw Art point at the computer like he was... Art, you're supposed to point at us.
Q and Rich.
Q and Rich. You were still...
I got it.
You're still half a room off.
Hopefully I got it right.
Well, it is the last Wednesday of the month.
Yes, it is.
And
that
we are-
one time in the month
That's
where you get the health and wellness hour.
for the Health and Wellness Hour
Clean your
with
minds.
Maryann Castello
Yay. And Danny Coleman.
Thank you very much for the assistance.
I was on the same wavelength as Engineer Art.
As Art, who you're pointing at, who we have here. Yes, Art, thank you once
Hello,
again
Art.
for coming in to allow us
An exciting downtown Heights town.
to permeate the airwaves of coaradio.com.
Yes.
Now we have
Located.
we have a major announcement here. Major announcement. We have located.
Yes. And it wasn't from the post office picture.
No.
No, it wasn't.
He's back.
Or those milk cartons I kept
He's
throwing away.
back in town.
Yes, we found Rich Shalanda. There he is, our musical
Hello?
director.
Hello.
I know, I elbowed his Taylor
you.
guitar there during the intro because I wasn't sure why Art was pointing at the blackboard.
Yes, there's a guitar in my hands.
Yes, there
And,
is. You all right? Remember how to play that thing?
I kind of do.
Since you just played the intro?
I kind of do. It's been a paddle for a while, but now it's fine.
So we took bets, and I think you were on some Tibetan mountain
I was.
getting the meaning of life.
I was on the south side of Tibet.
Was that near Chicago? That's the baddest part of town, Mario.
It's a bad part of town.
That's the bad part of town.
Floating around up there with the rest of them, and but I'm back.
The south side of anywhere was the best.
Well,
With the south side.
yeah, right.
South side.
Well, we are pleased to be coming to you once again this month here on City of Angels Radio.
Yes, we are.
And you can find us, coaradio.com. We are, if you want to, we're sponsored by
We
you.
are sponsored by Neo Zoe,
Neo Zoe.
which is New Life Through Balanced Living in Cranford, New Jersey.
Centennial Avenue in Cranford.
Yes, 230 Centennial Avenue. That's right.
Okay. And we are not sponsored by me in any way, shape, or form.
But you're here,
I'm lucky.
so you are
I'm lucky I
sponsored.
made it here today, yes.
What'd you do today, Danny?
Please share. I love this story.
That's a good one.
It could be a whole show.
I actually, today, I wasn't feeling well. I called out of work sick today.
You look a little peaked.
I do, don't I?
Well, you've been very quiet since we got here, which is not like you.
I called out of work sick today.
But
so-
you know what? I appreciate you being here, so this way I didn't have to fly solo.
See? I miraculously felt better this
thank you.
afternoon. So if you want to reach out to us tonight, you can do so by calling
609-241-7103. That's 609-241-7103.
See, we were so bad at remembering that Art had to put these big 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper all over the wall.
Even I know the number.
So we can remember it. Well, here we are in the Health and Wellness Hour, and as you know, we are here to discuss everything from health, wellness, to addiction,
Yes.
and so on and so forth here on City of Angels Radio, which, Art, you want to tell everybody what City of Angels does?
We help guide people with addiction, into treatment. We help support them afterwards. We kind of support the families, giving them more information on, and getting through when their loved one is off getting treatment. That's really when they need to be, helping themselves as well. And then hopefully we can bring everybody together as a family at some point in time. So we're really there to support people, before, during, and after, their treatment.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now,
That's wonderful.
And that rolls right into our guest this evening, who is a local to this area, Hamilton Township resident, but he is also the owner of Monmouth Music in Red Bank, New Jersey.
That's a wonderful store.
It is.
It is.
I believe it's historic, too.
It's been there 30 years.
Yeah, it's historic.
It's the home of One More with Danny Coleman.
All right, yes. Your show.
And
Monday nights.
Monday nights at 8 p.m. on the Carousel Arts YouTube channel. And Mario is one of the finest guitar players in all of the land.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Very good.
All of the land.
All of the land. Yes, here in the kingdom. Look, the stained glass out the window. But
a lot of land.
we're going to have a party because I want to introduce you to Mike.
Who's Mike?
This is Mike. You have to come closer to Mike. He's very shy.
Yes, I'm not used to this.
There we go. But Mario is here because
He'll be your best friend.
he will. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Somebody, I was at a party one time and there was a guy there whose pants were a little short.
Yes.
And somebody said, "Hey, we should have a party." And he said, "We're at a party." He goes, "Yeah, well, then we should introduce your pants to your sneakers."
That's short.
Very
So-
nice.
But anyway, so Mario is here because you have written a song about addiction.
Yes, I have.
And it is called
Too long.
Too Long.
And it's a great song.
Thank you, Rich.
I've been listening to it and listening to it over and over. And last night, even to prepare for the show, it's a great song. Yeah.
It was,
appreciate that, thanks.
And it was written by you because you have a personal connection to that. But we'll get to that soon.
Yes.
Soonly.
Soonly.
Soon we will get to that. So give us some background about you, Mario. Give us some background about Mario Di Bartolo.
Background, like where I grew up. I'm from Hamilton.
Yeah,
Grew
talk,
up in
that's it.
Hamilton.
Yeah, guitar, Hamilton.
Okay. Grew up in Hamilton. I always was associated or involved in music. I've been playing the guitar like everybody that plays the guitar since you're 10 or 12, which is always the magic number. But I had a career as well. I spent 35 some years in the retail apparel business. Last 20 years as senior vice president of a chain of stores based out of Manhattan. We had 100 stores around the country, 4,000 some employees, buying office and executive office based out of Manhattan. But I was always able to fuel my guitar. You know, we call it GAS, the gear acquisition syndrome, because of luckily,
Oh, yeah.
my career. You know that, Rich.
That helps.
It certainly does. It got a little crazy for a while with the amount of purchases. But in 2014, we sold the company to an entity in California. The name of the company I was with was called Conway Stores. We had a division called C.W. Price based out of Massachusetts. But we sold the company in whole
Wow.
to a company in California, and that was February of 2014.
Oh.
So I was looking for, the CEO, and I said, well, what are you going to do, and what am I going to do? And, so I said, I'm just going to go home. That's it. I don't want to go back to New York, and I was fortunate where I could make some decisions at that point, and I was looking for real estate, and that's how I came upon Monmouth Music. So I bought the business and the building.
Oh, that's great.
Last year.
Wonderful.
I would not have bought the business without the building. It wouldn't have been prudent. Real estate, and without going into detail, in Red Bank is very good and continues to do well.
And you have famous clientele in that place, too, right? You have people walking in that
There's a
area?
lot of famous guys that walk in.
I bet.
Yeah, anybody who plays at the Count Basie seems to want
Usually,
it.
whatever acts are at the Count Basie stop in, and then there's a lot of local celebrity of sorts because of the affluence of the area.
Yep.
And whether it's TV personalities or musicians or whatever, because of Rumson and Middletown,
Oh, yeah.
Tin Falls or whatever. So you get a lot of that traffic in there. And it's funny because I'm really not used to that. I worked in Manhattan for 20, 25 years, and maybe I saw a celebrity walking down the street 4 times or something. You're in Midtown. It's really not
Yeah.
what people think.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody's hanging around 35th and Broadway, the famous. But here,
Yeah, they're
when I
there.
first took the building over, it was like every other day there was somebody, oh my God.
Little starstruck at all?
And the guys that work there, the teachers and the staff, they're very nonchalant. Oh, hey, how you doing, Max? Or how you doing, Joe? Or how you doing?
Well, that's the area, man. That's the area.
Bobby, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And, so to them, it was nothing. It was nothing. But
Wow.
to me, it was, oh my God, you still have to get used to it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's that whole Jersey Shore vibe up in that area, from seemingly from like, Long Branch on down towards Seaside. You always see a friend of mine, a bass player friend of mine, was going to a show in Ocean Grove at the Great Auditorium a couple years back, and he's walking the boardwalk from Asbury down to Ocean Grove, and it was him and his soon-to-be his fiance at the time, now his wife. And he's sitting there, and he walks by a guy on a bench looking just like Rich Shalanda here with an acoustic guitar on his lap, And they kind of looked at the guy, and he looked up at him and said, hey, and they said, hey, and they're walking. And his wife says, I'm telling you, that's him. And he's like, no, why would he be here? No, that's him. They turned around, they went back. It was Kid Rock sitting on a bench playing guitar. Because he was in town to see the Beach Boys at Ocean Grove at the Great Auditorium.
Well, it's a great area.
So...
Visit. I have one funny story about a celebrity that if the guy that's playing or the woman, whatever celebrity's playing at Count Basie, if they don't come over, 99% of the time their techs come. They're like Steve Winwood's personal assistant kept coming in all day for they needed a piano stand, they needed this, and he never stopped in, but this tech comes in not too long ago, and he's teching for Joe Bonamassa.
Okay.
And so I says, do me a favor, will you please just tell him to get his lazy ass out of the theater and get over here. I'm a small business guy. It would mean a lot to me if he stopped in the store. So he starts laughing and he left. So about 2 hours later, I'd forgotten all about the conversation. I'm at the front door, and Joe Bonamassa walks in, and he says, are you Maryann? I says, yeah. And he says, my tech told me I better get my lazy ass out of my room and come over here. And what a nice guy. He spent like an hour in the store. Very, very sincere and down to earth.
A really nice
guy. Yeah, very nice. A lot of times they walk in and you could tell that just don't bother me. I want to walk around. But Joe Bonamassa was much different than most.
Very nice. Wow.
Very cool.
Nice story.
If you're just tuning in, this is the Health and Wellness Hour. I'm Danny Coleman.
I'm Maryann Castello.
Very
right on cue, right?
Perfect. See, I knew you'd get this. If you want to call us tonight, you can do so at 609-241-7103. So, being a lifelong musician,
I'd use the term loosely, but
and I've had this discussion with Rich,
a real musician.
Wow, he's real. He's here this time.
Yes, he is.
He's sitting right with me.
I am.
You are the real deal, Rich Shalanda.
I am real.
And you wrote this song called "Too Long." Think about the bands over the years that you were in or the musicians you've been associated with. Think about the talent that was wasted because of drugs or alcohol.
Sure. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, we would, that when drinking age was 18 and, if you had an open six-pack in your car, the cops would take it and say, just get home now. Don't let me catch you again.
15 minutes, I know where you live.
Right,
And I'm driving by the house.
Right, and that's, yes. Did that ever affect you when you were an up-and-coming musician? Not personally, I don't expect you to sit and say, yes, I was addicted
it's not
to.
confession.
I'm a sex addict. No. But in any of the bands you were ever in? Or?
Yeah, it was, I think anybody in this age group, things were looser, things were less restricted, less educated about it. I think in particular, the generation before us, our parents, were less educated about it. And in my experience with, I can say the same thing about my professional career. You saw the same, casualties, whether you're wearing a suit or whether you're playing a guitar, it doesn't matter. But what I saw was, I think it was more a lack of education and a lack of awareness, and by the time it gets to that point, it's too late, and there weren't as many avenues to turn for help. There was a stigma attached to it. It was kept secret. I think the things that City of Angels does and the awareness, particularly on the opiate and the heroin in particular side. When I was 17, 15, 16, whatever, there was a thing about drinking, and there was a thing about casual use of pot and that kind of stuff in the 70s. But heroin was the line in the sand. Heroin was, that doesn't happen in my neighborhood. That doesn't happen. It's very clear line. And what I've seen in the last 20, 30 years is it crossed the line into the suburbs. And the access to opiates and those type of things. And if I think, I don't want to speak out of turn, I'm not a professional, it's just my opinion, but I think if there's a predisposition to it, it's there. It's right in your face, when you were in high school as opposed to when we were in high school.
It was in my face that Rich and I had this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
We're musicians, we played in bars. It was like, hey, try this new drink. Hey, try.
You get the peer pressure as well.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
the 80s. They came up with all these new drinks and this and that.
Oh, yeah.
People were in your dressing room doing cocaine. You know what I mean? When you got done.
That's why,
no doubt, yes.
There's to a certain extent, my opinion, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and I don't mean to speak out of turn, but some guys pick up a beer when they're 16 and they can never put it down. Some guys take a Valium or a Vicodin and they can never put it down. Thank God. I just never affected me. That way. When I was in bands and as a teenager and playing in my 20s at the different bars or whatever, I knew I had to go to work.
Oh, I see, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't have to have that other beer, that next vodka, that next... I had a schedule, and I don't think it's because some of my friends didn't have a schedule. I just think some people pick up a cigarette at 16 and they just can't. An addiction is an addiction.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know if it's
Kevin and I call it that switch. I was on the road. I was with the band. We were in bars. The temptation was there. Then I got married. I had kids. You know what I mean? I had to get a real job.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
But I was able to shut that switch off.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And move on with my life.
Right.
And that's what I think a lot of people
cannot.
Yes, you're right.
If you're just tuning in, this is the Health and Wellness Hour with Maryann Castello and myself, Danny Coleman. Rich Shalanda has returned to the Federation.
Hello.
To direct
Good to be here.
Our guest this evening is Mario Di Bartolo, and of course we are being piloted by Engineer Art this evening here on City of Angels Radio. We're going to debut Mario's song, Too Long. About 20 minutes or so?
I think 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes.
Gives people time to tune in and really listen. It's fantastic.
609-241-7103. 609-241-7103. If you want to call us with questions or comments, we will gladly see if we can answer them. It's... You know what, though, Mario? When I was in school... like you said, it was, they called them the burnouts because they they would go outside between classes and either smoke cigarettes or smoke dope.
I was smoking weed. It was Steinert parking lot.
Or they'd go to their car and they would drink. But that was, like you said, that's what you had to deal with. Maybe somebody would do a Quaalude, or some speed. You had these friends, and I mean, I myself, I never did it. I was in, quote unquote, a fog. The fear of God was put into me by my parents that if I ever came home in a police car.
That was my father.
But I can remember.
Make sure I never came home in a police car.
Right? I think that the times have changed so much.
On the corner, yeah.
Like, okay, you know where the corner of Broad and Beatty is. I know you do. There's a building on a corner that's a business. Then there is an alley that goes between the business and a house. And you have to walk down that little alley to go to an apartment in the back. One day I walked down there, I didn't find one. I found 3 needles. 3. The neighborhood I grew up in Hamilton Township. I got out.
We have a caller live on the air. Thank you for calling in to the
I guess I have to talk to them.
Yes, to the Health and Wellness
Oh,
Hour.
you're on the air.
Who are we speaking to?
This is Tim from Virginia Beach. Just calling in to say hello, and what a great show. Say hi to Maryann and Danny and Mario and Rich Shalanda.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
I'm nephew of Fast Freddy. And like I said, from Virginia Beach here. I'm actually listening with my daughter who is battling addiction and recently learned that doing the needles, not do you stand a chance of getting some fentanyl in your mix. She came down with, how do you say it? Endocarditis, which is like a bacterial infection, and it traveled through her heart into her lungs, and she's on her 3rd or 4th week now of IV at home medicine, and she's improving. But I think it was a big eye-opening for an addict to realize that there's more danger. Like you also stand a chance on being a vegetable, or
Oh my God, yes.
having a stroke or something like that. But
hey, Tim.
appreciate your show, and just want to give a shout out from Virginia Beach to you guys. And
Thank you.
I'll listen off the air, and I look forward to listening. Are you going to play too long?
Yes, we are, very shortly. Tim, you called last month, didn't you?
I did.
You did. I thought I
did,
recognized
yeah,
the
the
voice
voice.
in Virginia Beach. And first of all, Maryann and I totally appreciate you listening to the program.
Every month. Thank you for being a faithful listener.
And secondly, what is your daughter's name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, if you're sitting there listening to this.
Actually, I'm hearing something else on something from before on the radio.
Okay, that's because there's a delay.
Big delay here or what?
That's because
is a
there's a delay. So, Chelsea, if you are sitting there listening to us, the only thing I can say to you is you're lucky that your father is sitting there with you this calmly, because I probably, if the addiction didn't kill me, my father would have. I applaud the fact that you realized it's, never too late, but you got your whole life ahead of you there, kid.
Absolutely.
Don't waste it.
As a parent, everything that you thought before, you relearn. There's a major stigma attached to it. You get very selfish about yourself. You have to treat it like a disease, but then again, they also have to be accountable for their actions. It's a fine line, and our doors are open as long as you're doing the recovery thing. Anything else, you have to go. We're not interested, and I'm hoping that this is a nice awakening for her to realize that it's more than just Russian roulette. That you can also have a really crappy life because you damaged some of your organs,
And that damage could be permanent, so thank God that she's going to be okay.
Well, hopefully this is not permanent, and
Right.
She's got about another 2 or 3 weeks left on this IV, and she should be good to go.
That's wonderful. That's great.
And And she seems to be surrounding herself with people also, which I think is very important, that have lengthy time of recovery, that have some conviction in their life. It's all who you surround yourself with for the most part. It sure helps, when you have to battle it mentally. I think it comes down to a mental health issue. Because when you're not using, you're not physically shaking, oh, I gotta have it kind of thing. You're making the conscious decision to go ahead and use it. So it has to come from a mental aspect. She's also hitting psychiatry, which is helping. Just in case anybody out there, is listening, these things seem to work. I know there's no miracle cure, and everybody's journey is different, but.
And how did you get?
Looking good so
Delays
far.
kill me. And how did you get her help? What local agency did you go to?
There's a facility in Richmond called McShin, where they have like an inpatient thing. She came to us and let us know, she was 18, she's 21 now. She left out when she was 18. She was a straight-A student, going to nursing school and everything. She just dropped everything. It was like a lifetime movie, and came back into our life. Knew she was staying next town over. I didn't know what was going on, and she didn't want us to be a part of it. And when she came back, she admitted she had all these problems, so we sent her to this facility in Richmond, and they have like an intensive program there where you're shadowed 24/7, and then given more freedoms as the weeks and months went by. And that was a good start.
Okay, so that's
then they get more freedom.
Right.
They can live on campus, so to speak, or in a housing thing that they own. Get your own life and hit a certain amount of meetings, that kind of thing. And if you choose to go back to using, you choose to go back to using. If you find your conviction, then you keep moving on. She stumbled a few times. She's starting to find her conviction, and I think it's really important surrounding yourself with people that have that conviction, and not to allow those people that could possibly use or give you something into your inner circle.
right.
And I think she's finally getting that. And yeah.
Okay.
It's an expensive, mentally draining experience, and I don't wish it on anybody, but it's out there everywhere in every town in this country, and I sure wish Congress would help more in the recovery into things versus just, not dispensing opiates. If that's a good thing, but what about the addicts that are already here?
Yeah.
You need to give them a little bit of relief, a little bit of access to treatment, and that can be improved upon, and hopefully they'll continue to do so.
Well, I'll tell you, Tim, thank you so much for your call. We're going to get moving a little bit because we are going to debut.
Have a great evening.
We are going to debut Too Long very shortly. But you know what? We wish you the best. Thank you so much for listening.
And Chelsea.
Absolutely. And we also need you to send your address and information because he's won a prize. He called in. And that is what we
you're a winner.
So you are a
look
winner.
at that. We don't even know when we have winners, Tim, but you're a winner now.
You are a winner.
So you know what you need to send it to you?
Yes, you could send it to me. Do you have a pen ready?
Can I just send it to you through Facebook?
Absolutely. That you can do. Yeah, if you do that, I will connect with you and we will make sure we get something out to you. And thank you so much for being supportive of our show, Health and Wellness.
Thanks, Tim.
And best of luck to Chelsea. And spread the word about organizations like the one you used in City of Angels. And
yes.
That's what we try to do here. So thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
There you go. If you're just tuning in, this is the Health and Wellness Hour. I am Danny Coleman.
I am Maryann Castello.
He is
Rich Shalanda.
There you go. And our guest is
Mario.
Mario.
You had to think about that,
Right? Like I was saying before that call came in, I used to work at what used to be the Liberty Thriftway. It's now was because they just relocated to Bordentown, but it used to be the senior center for St. Francis Medical Center. And I used to work there in the mornings, but I used to have to park a block and a half behind the building and walk. And that's the neighborhood I grew up in. And the first day I got out of my car and I walked down across the street, a path I walked God knows how many times when I was a kid. Made a left, walked along Old Man Piscopo. Now it's not his house anymore, but walked along Old Man Piscopo's hedgerow to the fire alleys. You know, the fire alleys in the township, they used to separate the block. They used to cut right down the middle. They had fire alleys. And I'm walking, and I happen to look down, and I see a bottle of Four Roses booze, empty, and right next to it, 2 used needles.
Oh.
I literally had tears in my eyes. That's the alleys I used to play in as a kid. My house was only 6 doors down the street, and now I'm finding hypodermic needles and
I found little
empty booze.
You know, I was like cutting the grass, and I saw in the gutterway like little bags, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I picked one up, and there were hundreds of like little heroin packets with the stamps on them. Like
somebody dropped them or threw them out a window.
They cleaned them out of their car, or, you know what I mean, or whatever it was. But
and you know, you didn't see that when we were younger. You know, nobody. There were 1 or 2 kids in the neighborhood that, you know, your mother said stay away from, because they were trouble, or they do drugs. Stay away from them. And you listened. You know.
Yeah, but we become a whole society of coddling our kids and giving them their way, and you know what I mean? And what did we help create this? I mean,
of course we did.
An immediate gratification as well.
Immediate gratification, and there's no consequences for your actions anymore. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always this. It's always that. You know, like, you know, when we were kids, you know.
That's because Dad smacked you off the dinner table.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. The point I was making earlier is I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, but the kids...
But you play one on TV?
The kids that I grew up with that were involved in either serious alcohol addiction, drug addiction, came from the same families that I came from.
Right.
It didn't have anything to do with how you raised them or how you, I don't know. Did I get lucky? I have 2 boys.
Just how we're all wired differently.
You know, I think we have addictive personalities, right?
Some of the families I know are the all-American,
we all do.
Disciplined, well-adjusted, professional, hardworking.
Help right away. The sooner you get help, the better. Admitting that you have the problem, but having support around you with family is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I've seen people transform their lives. Just what you're saying, Mario, when they got help and they got the appropriate convention, so to speak, they can change their lives around. And what I wanted to ask you, because we're getting into your song Too Long, what inspired you to write this song?
Well, it's a very true story. I wouldn't consider myself a songwriter. I'm a part-time musician or whatever, but I am very friendly, very, very close with a couple that, you always hear when somebody's going through alcohol problems or drug problems, the question is always, well, how are you doing?
Right.
Are you using? Are you being good? Are you this? And this friend couple of mine that had gone through this about 6 months ago, no one ever asked her. And I know so many guys that are in AA, and no one said to their wives, well, how are you doing?
Exactly.
You know, it's almost a given that number one, maybe they're an enabler, quote unquote, or a lot of ridiculous comments get thrown around. But I had a conversation. I've known these people for years and years and years. And she is a professional by career, very, very high position in her company. She's always been very pragmatic, very organized, very disciplined, exactly what you would expect from an executive. Being one from my industry and working with people, all the identifiers of an organized, driven individual. And every time her husband was obviously having a severe addiction problem. And the last 2 or 3 times that I spoke with her, I could see that there's a desperation in her face that I had never seen before. And the conversations that I had with her is, you know, Mario, I could do this, I can maintain a home, I can run a business, I can make decisions, I could do this, 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 and this. And again, this was my interpretation of my conversation with her, my observation of my conversation with her. And I'm looking at her and I'm saying, what happened? She can do all this all day, but I don't think she knows how to deal with what's happening with him. And to make a long story short, I think because their marriage was so strong, and I know him so well, he idolizes his wife, and I believe she idolizes him, that she went to an extreme. And in the song, basically the words are my conversation with her. You know, she was always the girl that can take on the world. It's exactly what she was. She always worked her plan. And in a corporate structure, there's a saying, whether it's a strategy meeting, an advertising meeting, a marketing meeting, an operations meeting, you plan the work and you work the plan. And that's been a saying in corporate America for years. I've said it a million times myself. And that's exactly the type of person that she is. And I think at a certain point, she became so desperate that the epiphany that she had and what she did, which I don't want to discuss in detail, but what she did was, to any other marriage, was like dropping a nuclear bomb. And I was like, whoa.
You put a tear in my eye when we discussed it. You told me before.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
But she did it out of desperation and out of her love for him. And I don't think a lot of marriages would have survived. But I think he loves her so much, him. It was an epiphany for both of them. And then, so when I wrote the song, it was one of those, I had like 2 or 3 conversations with her, and you're a songwriter. I've written, but this was one of those.
Not me.
Rich.
For those of you at home.
This was one of those, Rich, where I woke up the next morning, it was all done.
But I
just wrote it down. It was just all in my head. It just all came out in 5 minutes.
That's how that works.
I went to the studio. We did it, went to Ernie White's studio.
I went to Ernie's?
LeBlanc Studios.
That's how that works.
Ernie helped me with the arrangement. We used Mark Sacco on the drums, Tommy Rioch at Squirrel Ranch.
All great players.
On B3. We did it, knocked it off, and that was it. But it's exactly, and it doesn't really tell you the horror of what she went through, but I wanted to write her a song.
Well, I would love to debut that.
You don't hear that often, but that's not what I was thinking. Well, you don't hear that often. It just was, it was about her. And thank God there's a happy ending.
It was that, and it happened, you said it happened very quickly. The writing of it, everything just came together. It's because it's real. It's a real situation.
It's very easy to write.
Really easy to write. Like, I call them downloads. It's almost like downloading to you. You know,
exactly.
I think it just right there.
And then I had to get it into the studio. And I had to get it done because you're anxious. I want to get it done.
It's wonderful.
And it was very quick.
That's wonderful. And it just sounds, it's an unbelievable song. It sounds great. And can we hear it?
When somebody else can relate to it, that's all. If somebody else can relate to it and it means something to them.
I'm sure that.
Maybe I did something. I don't know.
I'm sure.
Well, I'd love to unveil this song. And so here it is. This is Mario Di Bartolo.
This is its world debut.
World debut of Too Long.
Here on the Health and Wellness Hour.
Never thought that she'd be lonely. She never thought she'd be alone. Her he finds his way home, he's been gone too long. She never thought that she'd lose focus. She never thought that she'd break down. But broken promises and lies stole that sparkle in her eyes. He's been gone too long, too long. She was always the girl who could take on the world. She always worked to plan. But desperation took the place of that smile on her face. He's been gone too long, too long. He's gone too long. He's gone too long. She was always the girl who could take on the world. She always worked a plan. But desperation took the place of that smile on her face. He's been gone too long, too long. But when her heart broke in two, she knew exactly what to do. She's been gone too long. When her heart broke in two, she knew exactly what to do. She's been gone too long.
That's right.
There you go.
Absolutely, that was
Mario
fantastic.
DiBartolo, Too Long. Who did the backing vocals, or did you double track it?
Ernie White.
Ernie did?
From Hamilton did the backing vocals, and Tommy Rioch was all guys that I play with all the time.
Right.
Tommy did the B3, Mark Sacco did the drums, and I did all the guitar tracks.
And now, from my understanding, you can purchase this song. Can you give us that information where we can find
You can
this?
download it on iTunes
All right.
and all those other, wherever you get that.
So it'll be on the site, so if I go to City of Angels, I could see a download link for something like that?
You
maybe?
could.
Yeah?
If Art decides
I
to
can make
put
that
it
happen.
You can, Art?
There you go. Art will make that
It'll
happen.
make it happen. I want to get one.
Well, congratulations.
And it sounds great in mono, too. I just picked up the headphones, just put it in one ear, and it sounds great.
If you're
I
just
wish-
tuning in,
I
this
wish-
is the Health and Wellness Hour. Maryann Castello and Danny Coleman. We have Rich Shalanda back in the fold. Art,
Yeah.
Engineer Art, and our special guest, Mario DiBartolo. Go ahead, Mario.
I was going to say, years, again, I defer to you, Rich, because you're a songwriter. It's hard to get the meaning across of what really was happening with this couple.
Yes.
And I was able, hopefully, in my mind, because I know the bottom pieces of the whole thing, the words that I wrote in the song hopefully will mean something to somebody else that understands that there's so much in between the lines. Somebody that doesn't or hasn't gone through that kind of relationship or relationship with somebody that has an addiction problem, that to them it's just a song and hopefully they like the melody. But,
it strikes a chord. It strikes a chord in there, man.
I was really struck with this couple that I've known for a long time. And when I said at the end, when her heart broke in two, she knew exactly what to do. Dude, that is nothing compared to what really happened, what she had to do. And thankfully, he's on the road. He's not drinking. I guess it's, again, I'm not involved in it. I'm not a doctor. It's the one day at a time. He's been sober for like 6 months. Fantastic. And I guess he's got to go through this the rest of his life.
And you know what? It is one day at a time. And that's what kind of this radio station is about. Our show, Living Clean and Sober on Monday night. I mean, we parade people through here for the last 3 years that are living clean and sober lives today. So they're living testimonials, to me, that you can live clean and sober. Right?
I think that the piece that struck me the most of all this is that I would always say to him, "How are you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on, dude? Don't lie to me. Is everything okay? I can tell it in your voice." But as well as I knew her, it was always, "Hi. Hey, how's it going?" And then it struck me when I was talking to her, she's going through more than he is.
Yeah, the
facts. He doesn't even know what he's going through half the time. He's blacked out for 3-4 days. But it struck me, and when I look back on all my friends that have been active in AA, there's a wife or a husband along there.
It's very important.
The
family member, somebody,
is battling
kids.
as badly if his wife has an addiction as the wife is battling as much as if the husband has addiction. So that's what I got.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And there's kids, and I've known people that have addiction problems my whole life, but I've never been that close to it. Even within the family, never as close as I was.
Well, I could see that you're sincerely touched by this whole thing. I mean, I could see that in your face, even talking about it.
I'm gonna sum it up because I know exactly who Mario wrote the song about. It's somebody that I've actually shared a stage with. It's somebody that is incredibly talented at his craft. But it's also somebody who one night after I came off the stage at a gig, he was sitting there, and I was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And I sat down, and we went drink for drink for probably an hour. The difference is, I stopped because I knew I had to drive home. I knew, like Art said, I knew when to hit that switch. You know what? You had enough.
Believe me, if he could have hit the switch, he would if he could.
And that's my point.
He did not want to go through what he went through. Like anybody, it doesn't matter if it's him or any other guy that I know or any other woman. That last thing they want to do is ruin their marriage. The last thing they want to do is ruin their health. And that's the part I can't associate with because I don't know what it's like to not be able to turn off a switch. So I can't relate to that. And if you're married to somebody, or it's your son, or if it's your daughter, or if it's your father, you can't relate to that either.
Hey, so I do what I do, and I have 2 daughters. I can't help neither one of them.
I don't know how,
Absolutely. But I also want to just mention, because City of Angels is such a wonderful organization, and they work with families, they work with the individuals as well. And I want to just bring awareness to one of the biggest events that City of Angels actually does every year, and it is going to be the City of Angels Walk Run 5K event, which will be Saturday, September 9th at 8 a.m.
And for $10,000, I'll name the race after you.
And it's a great way for vendors
That's big.
to, get out there, meet the neighborhood, meet the people. It's a huge event, correct, Art?
It is. We usually get somewhere between 600 and 800 people.
Right, and if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of such a fantastic event or a vendor, what you could do is send an email to info@cityofangelsnj.org. That's info@cityofangelsnj.org for information.
You can also visit walkwiththeangels.com, which will take you right to our website.
So I just wanted to mention that in the show, since you're talking about addiction and families, and how it really affects everybody, not just the person that's going through it, but everybody that is helping support them. So I think your song is fantastic to speak from the other side.
Such a nice song. Wow.
That's right, 609-241-7103. We've got about 10 minutes of program left if you want to call and chat with us. Give us your opinion on Mario's music.
Download it at iTunes.
That's right.
Download it.
Immediately, it's there.
The suspects, 609-241-7103. So, we're sitting here with the best-selling author and DVD maker, Maryann Castello. Neo Zoe, the proprietor of Neo Zoe. The road to success.
Yes.
You did with the chicken soup guy.
Yes.
Jack Canfield.
Yes.
Right? Hey, he's the chicken soup guy.
That wrote those books?
Yes.
Yes, there he is, right there on the cover with her.
At least you didn't say it was the Campbell soup guy.
Well, good.
Read that book at a seminar once, 15 years ago. I go, what?
What?
It just have to do with selling shirts in Chicago. Paradigm shifts, that was the word of the day.
Right. But you have this book out. You have this book, The Road to Success, Volume 2. You have your Extreme Chakra Cleansing for a Supercharged Life.
Yes.
And you have Mr. Shalanda's Flying Dreams CD, which...
I'm so proud to be able to announce that we found out hot off the press.
Our music director.
Who we found in Tibet, Rich Shalanda. There's the post office picture.
Why did you pick a snowy place?
Well, we want to congratulate you, to our musical director.
Thank you.
Do you know what we're congratulating you for?
I'd like to hear it.
Would you?
I never get tired of hearing
Yes, but I never get tired of hearing it.
Rich Shalanda has just been signed with Trans Global Records. Flying Dreams.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
See, a real song.
It's your Flying Dreams, so Rich Shalanda combined with Ronald Beanstalk, your bassist and attorney, which is fantastic, along with Kendall Scott from Project Object on the keys.
Kendall lives in Red Bank, by the way.
Yes, he does. And also that this has been signed also to The Orchard. So now the LP and your brand new single, Disconnected, is also available as well on all major distribution channels worldwide as of today from The Orchard. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's very exciting. Yep. Cool. Thank you.
So thank you for sharing that with us as well. And
you're welcome. Yes.
It's one of these things that, Mario, I am so glad that you wrote a song like this. I have family members, like I said, that have also gone through this, so I have personal experience too of how it affects families. And I think writing it from the other side, so to speak, I just can't say that enough of what the family goes through, what they see. It's just as hard as it is on the person dealing with it. And I really believe that your song will be very successful in this. And I just want people to support that, so make sure you go to iTunes
and download
Too Long by Mario Di Bartolo.
So you would go to Mario Di Bartolo on iTunes and look for Too Long.
Yep, and download it.
Is that the only song that we will find there?
For now. There's a couple more in the works.
For now.
That I'm working on with Ernie and some other people.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Well, that's good. How about now, what's going on at Monmouth Music?
Monmouth Music.
Any special sales?
Well, we're always running special sales at Monmouth Music.
Okay.
But we're gearing up for the summer with lessons and that type of thing. And, it's a business. It's I'm used to such a bigger type of business, and there's upsides and downsides to that. I went to New York every day and sat in a beautiful corner office and had everything done for me. Now I'm wearing jeans and shirts and opening the store, closing the store.
Yeah, it's a great store.
Doing stuff for himself.
It's fun.
But it's a great feeling,
myself,
though.
which I have no idea how to do it.
Writing songs.
It's not a joke, but brick and mortar businesses is very tough these days. It's tough. Music business is 1% of the buying population because it's such a specialized niche.
Right.
And, with the internet and big box stores and whatever. So, we always push for more students. We have a great staff of teachers. We have 12, 13 teachers on at any given time. And they're all dedicated to whether you're 6 years old or 80. We have, some students in their 80s.
Oh, really? And lessons so important.
Take lessons, ukulele, piano.
Oh, my God.
Guitar, bass, drums, mandolin, violin, vocal.
And lessons are a very, very important thing.
I think
I do too.
You have to.
Yes.
You have to have an understanding. Not only does it, in my opinion, whether you're young or old, whenever you start, it gives you a new appreciation for the instrument. Mm-hmm. And, if you're going to learn music, you need to formally learn it.
So 80 years old, you have students.
Several, yeah.
7?
Yeah.
Man,
oh my God.
Ukulele's like crazy.
You retain the older you get, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of guys...
It's also very therapeutic, too, music.
Yeah,
a lot of men and women say, I'm retired. I've always wanted to do it. And, so... And the teachers are great.
I'm sure.
I retained the entire staff that had been there. The average tenure is probably 10 years.
That's wonderful.
15 years. Some have been there 30 years. They have a large student base, our teachers.
So Red Bank, Monmouth Music.
Yeah.
Right on Monmouth Street.
30 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey. Right up the street from the Count Basin.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a great visit town.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not necessarily a destination for any particular store. It's just a place that you can go, you have lunch, you walk around, you can, outside restaurants.
It's a great town.
You got the Basie Theater, and it's supported by foot traffic primarily.
Right.
What do you have coming up for gigs?
I personally have a gig with the Rock and Roll at the Robbinsville Outdoor Park Series, June 10th.
At the gazebo?
Correct.
On Lake Drive?
No, it's a big stage. It's the park. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the park out past Wyndham Way where all the warehouses are. There's a beautiful park.
Oh, okay. That
big,
one.
Big stage.
Okay, gotcha.
And we play at 7 p.m. June 10th.
Okay. Any other ones?
I happen to be doing a gig with you, Danny.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What is it, the casino?
Is that the Parks Casino
June
this Sunday?
4th, that's right, this coming Sunday. Mario and I, first time we'll ever share a stage together, you and I.
Wow.
It's my wife's birthday, so I just might be taking her to the casino that day.
There you go.
It's a free show. We're doing one set at 5:45 or 6:45. I don't have to check. But yeah, the Boss Radio AM Gold Band. And,
I get to play all those songs you heard on the radio.
From 1966 to 1976.
That's fun, though. That's a lot of fun.
Correct. How about you, Miss Maryann?
What about me?
What's going on in the world of Neo Zoe?
Neo Zoe. Well, I'm happy to know that I will be hosting Rock on Radio with you every Sunday.
Yes.
So that's a thrill.
You have officially accepted and been named the new co-host of Rock on Radio.
Yes, and doing guest spots on radio shows that I can announce in the future. Continuing writing, and Neo Zoe, the actual practice in Cranford, New Jersey, keeps me very, very busy. So I'm having a great time helping others.
I hear the bell tolling. That
It's
means
tolling.
9 p.m.
Which means that tomorrow you'll be able to catch this on replay. So you can go to cityofangelsradio.com, be able to click our link to our show, and find the YouTube version.
And Art, you're going to put the YouTube up, right?
Of course.
There you
Always
go.
does.
Well, Thank you, Engineer Art.
Why do you think I have a large coffee so I can go home and I'll be editing tonight?
There you go.
Thank you so much for all your support, Richie.
Mario, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
For coming in and allowing us
Thank you for writing such a wonderful song.
to debut your tune there here on the Health and Wellness Hour.
City of Angels Radio.
I think next month is the
It's June 28th.
28th, right?
It's the last Wednesday of the month, June 28th, and we will have Kenny Siegel with us. So we're very excited to have him.
Here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's our guest next month.
I'm in.
Another
Here we go. So until next time.
All right, Rich Yolanda, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's always fun. Good to be back and great seeing you guys.
Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You look very Tibetan.
Well, on that note, on that note, thank you so much for listening, tuning in, and callers. Thank you for calling in.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Not to the things I've done, the clothes I wear, the situation that surrounds me. It's all the same to walk away. I never truly meet the hidden me. She smiles, tears fill her eyes, then drop into wishing well. Dreams are made of these things that you cannot see, but they come to be.